Hey, what's up, YouTube? Today is another Remake Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. But I want to just really quickly today, I'm not going to hold you guys long today. I'm going to really quickly review three movies that I think deserve a modern update or remake, maybe even a sequels, something to that extent. So the three movies that I got for you guys today. Number one is a science fiction horror movie that came out in the late '80s called Deep Star Six. Deep Star Six was a movie that was part of a genre that was really popular around that time. You had basically a group of people versus like a mysterious creature, like an alien type movie. It was done several times across several different movies, but for whatever reason, this one kind of stood out to me. I thought it had a pretty smart story. I thought the monster, even though for that time, if you look at it now, kind of looks a little goofy, but for that time, it was a pretty intricate monster. I don't want to say it was on the level of anything like The Thing or something like that, but it was a really good take on what a prehistoric um, amphibious life form would look like. Basically, what happens in the story, the plot of the story is that a team of naval personnel stationed at a temporary base at the bottom of the ocean and tasked with setting up nuclear missiles discovers a huge underwater cavern which houses a giant prehistoric creature. And it just kind of goes from there. So I thought, once again, the movie was really smart. I thought the practical effects was really great. And I think we could do a remake on that because we're still in those times where, people are wondering about nuclear weapons and nuclear, type offense and defense type stuff. And this might be a good movie that we can reimagine that plot for modern day tensions around the world. And there's still a lot that's left unexplored at the bottom of the ocean. I think, there's still plenty of stuff we can do there. I know there's been some stuff made recently, kind of, bottom of the ocean stuff. Crap, I wish I would have looked it up before I did this video. I can't think of the name of it, but I'll post a picture of the poster probably over here so you guys can see the movie that I'm thinking of. Once again, I can't think of the name of it right now, but um, it's a fun genre to explore because not only do you have the dangers of the monster, but you have the dangers of the environment. So, really good genre, I think, to remake a movie in, especially nowadays. The second movie that I feel like deserves a remake is Cujo. Cujo is a Stephen King property, and they've been remaking Stephen King properties like crazy over the last decade. You got, It, and they just redid, and I keep wanting to call it Amityville Horror, but it's not. But they just redid, a bunch of Stephen King properties. They redid the one where the dead people don't stay dead, Pet Cemetery. They redid Salem's Lot. They redid, even Shining. I think they did an update to that or a sequel to that. And it's just like they keep redoing like some of the same movies over. And it's like, let's dig deeper. You done did Carrie a bunch of times, you done did like certain movies a bunch of times, but let's go and do, some of the lesser known but really good movies that he did, that he was responsible for. And I think Cujo was one of those movies. I remember the movie coming out. This movie was directed by Louis Teague and it starred Dee Wallace, and as the kid was Danny Cantario or something like that, I believe is his name. I apologize if I'm getting his name wrong, but it was a really simple, plot. Basically, a giant basset hound contracts rabies from, I believe he was bit by like a squirrel or a bat or something, and as the dog developed rabies, he becomes a terror to this local neighborhood. And the plot just plays out really well, a lot of tension. And I just think it would be cool to kind of reimagine that, nowadays. I felt like one of the things the movie did really well was the majority of the movie takes place at in the daytime. And it's rare that a horror movie is able to scare you and it's like like daytime. Like normally it's like night or it's dark, and they most directors use the darkness as a way to kind of hide the monster or set up suspense. This movie was done really well in that you didn't need that. You know what I mean? The dog was just the dog's presence was like just scary enough. Like, what is this dog gonna do? So I think Cujo definitely deserves a remake. I did just to go back to Deep Star Six for a minute. That was directed by Sean Cunningham, written by Louis Abernathy and Geoff Miller, and had a really ensemble cast like most of those movies did back in the day. Um, Greg Everson and Nancy Everhart were the two main stars of that one. And once again for Cujo, it was Dee Wallace and Danny Pintario. I'm gonna get that name right. I apologize, Danny, if you're listening. Dee Wallace was she did a lot during that time too. She was in E.T. She was in The Howling. She was in Critters. So she was really popular around that time. So great actress who did a great job in that particular movie. In the final movie, this one is a little bit of a gag, but also kind of for real as well. I would love, love, love to see a remake of Blackula. That's right. I feel like Blackula, even though it was a little bit of a little bit of a black exploitation movie, coming out of the late '60s and '70s, and kind of was a spin on Dracula, and took advantage of some of the tropes and stuff like that around the time. I thought it actually had an interesting plot. So basically, this African prince is bitten by Dracula and becomes a vampire himself. And eventually, through different means or whatever, his body ends up in modern day Los Angeles. Now, you could say Eddie Murphy's movie that he made, Vampire in Brooklyn, was almost kind of a remake of Blackula, which it actually kind of was. You know what I mean? Because it was that same plot where you had a ancient vampire placed in a modern day city, but he took more of a comedic, turn with it. And even though it's kind of a funny plot, I feel like it could have like some serious tone. Like I would love to see what Jordan Peele would do with Blackula. You know what I mean? I feel like that movie is kind of right up his alley to do something that maybe has silly tones, but has a very scary and serious presentation. So the movie was directed by William Crane, who, looking up his directorial, did a lot of TV and screen. Didn't do a ton of black exploitation movies. I think the other one was that he did was Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde or something like that. It was, another take on a classic, horror movie with, a black version of it. And it was written by Joan Torres and Raymond Koenig. It also starred William Marshall and Vanetta McGee. William Marshall is so underrated as far as the appreciation this man should get. Classically trained stage actor who did a ton of classic work. It's a shame that he's mostly known for the Blackula roles, which I think I remember hearing a story that he didn't really even want to do the movie, because he's a classically trained actor who does like Shakespearean stuff, and here he is playing an ancient vampire. But did a great job with it, and is at 6'5" with a deep voice like he had, was very imposing as Blackula. And I felt like, he, even though he was given, sort of a silly thing to work with, actually did an amazing job. And then Vanetta McGee is another legend out of the black exploitation era. I mean, everybody, mostly talks about, Pam Grier, but she was kind of lightweight right there with her. She has some breakthrough roles, and I believe some television roles. I want to say she was in a James Bond movie or something like that, but she was like right there, like with Pam Grier. So, once again, kind of unsung, but a name that everybody should know if, you're into historical black actors and actresses who, broke that glass ceiling. So, Vanetta McGee, Pam Grier actually was in the Scream Blackula Scream sequel. So she actually tapped into this series as well. But I just would love to see like just a modern take on that. I feel like uh, you got Adelius Hodge right now who's doing great things right now with the Cross series, or um, crap, I can't remember his name, but just got some popularity from the Netflix movie that he did. Man, I should research this shit better before I do a video. But he would make I think, a good Blackula. I'll post his name in the Netflix movie so that you guys can check him out. And probably a couple of other actors who would make a good modern day Blackula. Um, I don't know, man. I feel like that would be something fun. Maybe people wouldn't go see it at the movies, but definitely like some kind of a streaming release. I think it could be good on Shutter or BT Plus or something like that. And I would like to see that. Let's see about remaking that movie. So those are three movies that I've enjoyed, like coming up and just watching movies that I feel like are kind of unsung a little bit and deserve a remake. That's Cujo, Deep Star Six, and Blackula. Tell me what you guys think. Have you seen these movies before? Do you think they deserve a remake or some sort of a reboot, or maybe some sort of a sequel? How about Son of Blackula? He was kind of, looking for some for some ladies in that in the two Blackula movies. So once again, let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos, and we'll do another please remake Monday, or let's remake it Mondays, and I'll pick out another three movies that we can go through. Thank you guys once again for watching. This is comedian Rob Coleman coming at you with another movie trailer opinion review. Thanks again.